Barbara that Dr. Lamb's on. There's just something about Barbara that every time she calls me or I talk to her or whatever, I just light up. There is just something about Barbara, whoever has her this semester, she's just refreshing and just such a delight. She really is.
So which Barbara is this?
Napper Bolding,
Oh,
who has her this semester.
I don't.
She would be.
So I guess I didn't teach this summer, so I guess she's in 605.
She would be a 605 student.
Mm-hmm.
She would be a 605, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. She is just a delightful person. I enjoy her so much.
I was going to say, sir.
Do you have her, Dr. Lamb?
No, I don't, but I wish I did.
She's just a delight.
I don't have any, since we're off cycle for add-on 603s, you know, the fall, I only have doctoral 603s from EDCI and my regular 738 doctoral methodology stat class is all I have. Boy, I'm glad somebody's got some good ones because I got a couple of doozies this semester. I'm gonna tell you.
Well, you know, Jamal and I try to weed those out for you.
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, that's the thing. By the time they get to me in the traditional 603 classes, those are already weeded out, or we've already, you know, broke them from chasing cars and sucking eggs, as my mother would have said. We've got the dog out of them, but boy, I tell you, they don't do that in some of the other programs. Man, I've got a couple that are just, I don't know. We're not communicating very well. We're not on the same wavelength. So, but that's always, it's kind of always that way. But no, everything's good. We hired a person to do Qualtrics and do methodology for the university, and then we got a note this week that he don't do that. So of course I already knew that. I don't know what he's doing now, but so that's been a lot of time lately, is working on that. But everything's good. Mostly tonight, what I wanted to talk about was the Gaston Initiative. Of course, Jackie's going to be teaching in that. It's going to start here in a couple of weeks, and I'm going to coach with Lisa, and we're getting them kicked off. And I talked with their person today. We're going to have a little kickoff event on Saturday, October the 2nd. And then that following Thursday, we'll start the first coaching before the first class so that they'll be familiar with Blackboard. So when Jackie gets them on that Tuesday night, the 12th, when she starts with them, they should be ready to go. And that Saturday is basically, that's their Gaston County's day to see everybody. So that'll be good. We got that up and going. And Jackie and Lisa are going to be tremendous in that, and then we'll move them through. So I'm glad that's taken a lot of work. We do have 14 students in that. We lost one, but we added one of the fellows that had already started before the program. Now, his district took him in, is paying for him to do this. And the first thing he did was email me, did he really have to come to class, that he had other things going on. So I can't make this up. And I was like, you might better make a different decision than this. What do you mean, do you have to come to class? I guess he thought since they were giving him the program all that we were just going to give him the degree as well. So I'm glad he's made a better decision. He's moved on. I told him that, you know, as soon as I knew what who was going to be teaching him what classes in the spring, I'd let him know, but that he needed to make arrangements to be in class every week. Seeing how somebody's paying $20,000 for him to do this, and it ain't him. That the expectation is you show up to class every week. So he's decided that he can't do this. Well, But I think we've got that fixed. And so that brings me to what I really want to talk about tonight, which is pay. I have done the stipend report with all the CC1, CC2, and EVAs. I've done the final CC1 list. I pushed those out. I'm going to push those out again tonight when I do the reporting. Dr. Brown from the graduate school says she got the lady who retired in the spring to help her. It supposedly has been pushed into production banner. Now, I was feeling really good about that until about 2 o'clock this afternoon, when I got my load report from the dean wanting to know why I was evaluating 77 students in task stream. Obviously, I'm not doing that. And so somebody has not, something has gone sideways. But anyway, I'll continue to work on that. But and then, of course, Kathy sent an email today. They have her prorated for a class. And we'll have to follow up on that. I think she's the only one that had a prorated class. When it was only prorated because they hadn't bothered to register the students. And so as soon as they registered them, so we'll have to follow up to make sure you get your full salary. I don't know why they thought I had 77 students. I do have 10, but they're not in the MELS program. I have 10 that I evaluate in the EDCI program. I do that, but I don't evaluate any. I don't coach or evaluate or visit. I mean, I push all that work out to you folks. And so I don't know why. And so then they asked me today, where do we pull that? Which class is EVA attached to? And I had to explain it's not attached to any class. That's not how you determine that. It's on the stipend report. So everybody's got amnesia. The fellow that's supposed to be working with us over in IT, he claims he's still new. Although he's been here for years, he claims he's still new. Please let me supervise him for 1 day. I'll work for free the rest of the year. Just let me supervise him for 1 day. I could stop this. I could tell you, but my point is we've lost so many people. We've transitioned. The new lady in IT that they hired, she quit before we even. I think she was a myth. I don't think it's real. She quit before any of us could actually physically see her, and they haven't replaced her. And so I don't know. And so everybody's trying to fill in right now. So I don't know, but it's this way in a lot of businesses. I understand. We do have a new Sandy who was. Sandy left. We did replace her with Mary. She looks like she might have some rabbit in her. I'm afraid to ask her to do anything yet, because I'm afraid she might leave. And Dr. Bull has to have somebody be his warder. Somebody has to mind him. So if she can do that, but we do have a new person now. Again, she's not up to speed, but I'll do the best that I can to make sure that you get paid the right amount at the right time. I'm dealing with Jeff Tubbs, and so Jeff, I think between Jeff and I, we'll get this pushed through. And so pray for Erica Phillips, her family. She's the new lady in the graduate school. She's very nice, but she's been out on bereavement for quite a while. As you saw, all 3 of her relatives did eventually pass, unfortunately, to add COVID. We've had a lot of that. We've had a lot of our students. We had some to drop. Most of them dropped over COVID, or their principal telling them that they just couldn't handle an intern with all that they had going on. We had a lot of that even though they had promised and said they would do it, they just couldn't because of contact tracing and the other issues with COVID. And so we lost some of those, and especially those that were in charters and privates. The last 2 that we lost were both in charters. One was at that Southeast Raleigh charter school, and the charter people are not having any problem telling them, no, we can't do it. And so it's a tough time, but hopefully we've got pay. We've done role verification. Everything should be pretty well. We should be doing well. 601. The add-ons, I'll do the last session with them this Thursday night, and they've done a really good job with them. Doing APA format. Natalie did 2 wonderful sessions, and now Jackie's going to use that recording. We won't try to do live with her. That'd take too much of our time to do that. But again, I'm gonna jump in, and we're gonna do Catstream, Blackboard, Zoom, YouTube, and the evidences. We'll get that knocked out with this group. We only got 8 weeks with this group in Gaston this first semester, so it's going to be really tough. But I've got the right people, and we'll be fine. Everything will be good. So I think we're where we need to be right now. Again, pray for Erica and all the other folks who are affected by COVID. My brother-in-law has survived. He had a breakthrough, although he was vaccinated, he had a breakthrough of the Delta variant. It was kind of touch and go, but he is much better. Thank you for your prayers on him. I've talked with a lot of people. My niece and nephew, his daughter and son-in-law now have it. I talked with them yesterday. Their symptoms are pretty aggressive, but they seem to be doing well. They're young and strong. I won't comment on that, but it continues. We're doing the best we can. We're trying to stay safe. I know that you folks have it much worse than us at the college level, but please try to stay safe. You know, we have the backup plan in place. You should all coaches should have access to your instructor's shell, everything except grade center, and that's by design. If there's any grading to be done, I'll do that. I won't ask that you do that, but you know, you will need to make sure the class meets on time. So keep up with that. Does anybody have anything before we go to Dr. Bull for comments and prayer?
Dr. Lamb, did you tell me that you had given Dr. Tobias the resources and materials from our shells?
Everything that y'all send for Thursday night sessions, I have forwarded to her as well. I have not sent her Dr. Hamilton's EVOS presentation yet, but I will, because I want to send it with mine together, and I want to go through those for a minute. And,
I'll try to remember from this point on to
copy
you in our email, and you'll get everything that we do from this point on, Dr. Tobias, and be able to use it. So, and you can always call me Dr. Tobias. Just know that.
And Jackie got a big. Jackie, tell us about your new promotion. What are you going to be doing now?
Well, I can't say yet because it's not board meeting.
Oh, well,
you can't say, none of you can say anything at this point. It's like
she's gonna get too big, you know.
Yeah, I
too
can't
famous to work for us. So. But congratulations. We'll wait for that announcement. Be sure to send it to us when you do. But yeah, the Gaston cohort, we're looking forward to that. We're planning and prepared. I've already got we've got the Zoom session schedule. Jackie's got the shell ready to go. I'm gonna work in Lisa's shell tonight to make sure it's ready to go. So we're already hearing from students. I heard from another one today. They're so excited. They're sending emails. They've heard good things and so about you folks. And so this Gaston group is really excited, and I talked with Melissa Balknight today that's running the program from them. She called. They're all excited and happy, and so it's you know, even if it's just a one-off, it's still a good thing. It's a little something a little bit different and extra, but maybe it'll turn into something else. Dr. Bull, words from the executive suite, and close us out with a prayer.
Well, thank you. I just, first of all, always a sense of gratitude. We cannot do what we do without the help of our adjuncts. You outnumber us, and you bring in best practices from the practitioner's perspective, and we deeply appreciate that. And so every time I meet with a group of adjuncts, I just want to say thank you for holding down the fort for us. As we move into the semester, first of all, I see there are some special prayers and things happening. And so let us bring into God's presence this moment. And for each and every one of us, Let us bring in our needs. We each have needs because we are not perfect. And we have people that we pray for and those that depend on us. So your personal needs are important to us. Your family needs are important to us. Your colleague needs are important to us. So let us pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for bringing us this Monday to discuss the vision and mission of the MELS program. Lord, we thank you for all those present, adjunct and faculty members that continue the mission and the work that we do every day. Lord, give them the strength, the patience, the fortitude to do what they've done, to continue to keep our candidates updated and in the line. Pray for the coordinator, Dr. Lam, for the work that he does to bring everything into fruition. For those who are not with us, Lord, we pray for them. They may be on the way to join us and other things are happening. For those who are going through darkness right now, those who are afflicted with COVID and other ailment, Lord, you are the physician. Touch them, heal them. As we discussed today, may the words of our mouths, meditations of our hearts be acceptable in thy sight, that all we do be granted to support our faculty, our candidates, and the leadership of God now. This way, as through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen.
Congratulations to everybody. I don't like to do self-gratification. I let Dr. Lam talk about that because I don't like to talk about myself. It's an awkward feeling for me. So I'll let him talk about that. But I just want to say at this juncture, we have our retention. We struggle with, there are three things that happen in the academies: recruitment, retention, graduation, pretty much. And some of you are part of a recruitment piece. And the retention is critical at this point in time. I've charged Dr. Putnam and probably will be reaching to Dr. Lam to identify all candidates who are struggling at this time. We need to know why they are struggling, and we need to put in contingency plans and strategies to help them. Some of them we may not be able to redeem if you've not turned in any assignment by this time. Chances are you're not going to make it. But for every student we lose, it counts against us. And if we end up to lose a whole class, every time that happens, it's an adjunct gone. And I don't want that to happen. We fight very hard to keep our line. But if we lose 10 students now, trust me, it's going to affect a class. And it may affect several sections and affect the work that you do. And so we are appealing to you to bring in compassionate rigor, because that's what I call it. We are not going to water down the curriculum. Like I always tell my students, if you cry, I cry with you. Once you finish, you do my work. That's compassion. That's compassionate rigor. Let us cry together, sing Kumbaya, I go get my work done. And I'm going to grade it. You're going to earn your grade. I don't give you grade. So they understand that. And I think that's what it is. So please, Dr. Lam, let them send you the list of candidates who are struggling. Let's try to reach out to those candidates individually because we need to hold our numbers. If we hold all the numbers going into spring, all of you will be here. Simple. It's a simple math. But if we end up losing students and we're going to graduate a whole lot of students, the graduates are fine, they're part of this trajectory. We recruit, we retain, we graduate, fine. We'll bring in new ones from the back. So I just want to say thank you again for all you do for Gardner Webb. And any way we could continue to support and help you guys, we will. And we will continue to do more and bring more so that you all would benefit from the experiences that you give to the students and to Gardner Webb. So that's all I have to say right now. And thank you again. And I'll let the meeting continue. If there are any questions for me, I would entertain it. I have a 6:30 class myself, and I have to teach till 8 o'clock tonight. Life goes on. Then I have to grade tonight because I did not grade yesterday. So you could tell I have a long night ahead of me. And then I have to deal with Dr. Lam tomorrow at 9:25. We have a meeting. Graduate council meeting. So can you imagine? That's how my life goes. But it's always a pleasure to deal with people that you like. And if you love what you do, it's not work. That's why people like to play football and basketball. They love what they do. They don't consider it as work. for us is the same. So thank you. Dr. Lamb, I turn it over to you.
Before Dr. Bull leaves, we want to congratulate Dr. Bull. I had this pulled up. If he showed up tonight, he's been appointed to the North Carolina Teaching Fellows Commission, which is a high honor. Hopefully, I did have to remind him today, you know that Gardner Webb doesn't have teaching fellows, but you know, so his job is to get teaching fellows for us. So that you can't score unless you get in the game. So at least he's in the game now. So
I'm in the game.
That is
I'm in the
an honor.
game. I'll be a strong advocate for all groups of people, and it's a privilege. I was appointed by the Speaker of the House, and the Senate voted to approve it for a 2-year term. So I would serve knowing that I represent you all and the students of North Carolina who wants to be teachers. So I'll go there again to just give, and give to serve God and humanity. So thank you again.
Thank you. So to finalize our meeting, and I'm going to stay on with Jackie. We have just completed 4 weeks. That is the first quarter. So it is time, as Dr. Bull reminded us, I have it on my list here to close out. It is time for the academic difficulty reports, the preliminaries. You know, the formal ones are due at midterm at 8 weeks, but at 4 weeks, I always ask you if you have anybody that's having problems. You know, if there's something that we can do with them or do for them, or if nothing else, we can talk about them next Monday. So we will try to meet again next Monday to go over that. If I don't get any, then we won't meet. But if we get any, you know, if I can't just handle them individually, I will call us back into session next Monday if we have a lot that are having difficulty. Now, as I said, I have a 603 doctoral class. They're doing fine. It's tough times, but they're doing fine. And my other class, I do have one who's difficult, but they seem to be doing okay. Now, I don't know about your classes, but I think Dr. Bull made a good point. I commiserate with you, but you still got to do your work. So if we have any that are particularly, if there's something that you thought that we could as a group talk about and could fix, we'll certainly convene and do that next week. But otherwise, we'll meet in 2 weeks unless I see the need for us to talk about these struggling students. But right now, again, I'm kind of an anomaly. I don't have exactly the regular, but all of mine are school-based, and they seem to be doing fine right now. So we'll see how that goes. Of course, it's not even cold weather yet. It's not even hog killing. You know, the sniffles generally don't start till around the 1st of October. So we'll see how that goes. But they seem to be hanging in pretty good. The ones that couldn't make it dropped. And so I think we've gone through that period. So I think we came through the drop period pretty well. I think we ended up with 95 and 35, 100, about 130 that stuck, this fall out of about 150, which is pretty good. We had about 150, and I think we ended up with about 130 of them. But, you know, we lost, week 4 classes started, we lost 9 that didn't get their financial aid, which is normal. And then we lost, you know, the most that I've ever seen with, you know, when they said the reason for going is my school said they couldn't support an internship, that they had too much going on. I saw that either 7 or 8 times. And then we had a couple of medicals, one had surgery. But I'd rather the school tell these folks this up front, let them get out and not lose their money, than do what we've had some do in the past. And you know what I'm talking about, CC1s, where they get in touch with you and say, my school says they don't want to do this, or they didn't know what this meant. Or one of them got in touch with us lately, want to know how much they were going to get paid to supervise their own faculty. Well, you're just done.
I mean,
We're going to pay you $1 million.
I mean, they could use the assets of the interns to help this heavy lift that needs to be done in their school. That is so short-sighted.
Of course it is. But, you know, we're not talking about the best places here. Remembering that other places have embraced them. So yeah, it's a different time. That is true.
Dr. Lamb, one of the things that I try to do when I do my CC1 visits is I always ask the principal after we make introductions. I'll say, you know, I've been a principal myself. I said, and I know there's always things I have to put on the back burner because there's just not enough of me to go
Yeah,
around. I said,
yeah.
what? I said, other than what you've already established, I said, can you tell me one thing that you would like to do if you had an extra person to help you do it that you could get done this year? And they start thinking, they put it out. I said, that's what I would use this person to help me
Exactly.
do.
Yeah,
And that's, it seems to work most of the time when I do that.
yeah. And I think that changes their perspective, and that's great. But, you know, I've been pleased with the, you know, the bounce back that we've had. I know it's been tough for everybody out there, but you know, this is the new normal. It's just going to be tough. We're just going to have to push on through. I want to, Barbara's with us tonight. I know the master students, they seem to be doing really well. They seem to be more effective than the add-ons, but so I know the add-on folks are, I mean, the master's folks, it's been a struggle for them. These people, what they're going for and new to graduate school, but they seem to be doing really well. Feedback's been positive. So congratulations to Jeff, Joey and Barbara. They're doing a great job with those master students. That's probably our toughest group right now.
The ones that I have are asking good questions, and they're getting their work turned in, and I'm not having to prod, you know, like I have had to do several of them. So after the group I had this summer,
Yeah,
with the five, they're a joy. I'll just tell you,
that's
just
great.
joy.
That's great. But I've been really pleased with this master's group. They seem to be a much more capable group than we've had in a while, and I'm very pleased about that. That's great. And so everybody, and Anna's on with us, Anna and Phyllis. Did I see Phyllis? She was on earlier. There she is. A special thank you, although it's not us, it's still the MELS program. Anna and Phyllis are supervising, and as well as Terry are supervising student teachers, future principals for us this semester, and doing a bang up job. That will pay dividends for us in the long run, and so I appreciate that. I know Anna visited hers on Thursday in Cleveland County, and you know, there's hope. These young ladies they give you hope. I know they do. And so I appreciate what everybody's doing. Dr. Stone, Dr. Sanders, they keep me from doing dumb things as best they can. And so I'm appreciative of them. It's good to see everybody. Jackie, we'll go ahead and meet now. So I'll see y'all all in 2 weeks, unless we have an inordinate number of students we need to deal with in terms of academic difficulty. I'll see you in 2 weeks, everybody. I appreciate you coming out today. Have a good week. Thank you. All right. Let me turn the record off here.